but they're big, they're huge pivotal moments, and they're always to do with our soul's sort of intention, why we're here, why we're incarnate at this time, and destiny. So they are big, and we usually feel them at least a week in advance, sometimes 2 weeks in advance, because it's basically like a huge full moon. So that's why I want to put this video out now, because you're probably already feeling, whether you realise it or not, the impacts and the energies of that. But it's not just the full moon, there's a lot. I feel like I've said this at every meditation, and I will be continue to say this for the rest of this year, next year and the year after. There's a lot going on in the world and in the universe with the astrology, so many huge shifts. We're in Pisces season, which is the last sign of the zodiac. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so as far as the astrological world is concerned, April and Aries is the real new year, which is wonderful because that's when it feels like a new year to us, with springtime and things really starting to come to life. Things are just starting now, but it really kind of pops in April. And if you're interested in sort of living more with the natural cycles of nature, then you'll be aware of everything starting to, little buds and the first signs of spring and the busy birds, and starting to get a little bit more daylight, sun setting a little bit later, temperatures slightly better. So with us being in effectively the last sign of the zodiac, it's very much things coming to an end of chapter for a fresh new start, building on what you have done and what has happened in the last 12 months of your life. Pisces is very sensitive, very spiritual, very dreamlike. Aries is very much like action, putting things into action, planning, getting things done. Can be a bit sort of too quick to act sometimes without thinking things through. Pisces is almost the opposite of that, not opposite in the chart, but very much a dreamer, and can be accused of procrastinating too much because they are always dreaming and imagining things and maybe not taking enough action. But that every sign has a purpose, and we all have a little bit of each sign within us somewhere, and they all represent different aspects of our lives. So I'm going to basically provide more videos, but I just want you to be aware of things that feel like they're kind of coming to an end. Deaths of things, ends of things, ready for a new beginning or a new way of living in a transition. And think of it as being the caterpillar and the chrysalis. Nobody tells the caterpillar that it has to go into the chrysalis and literally like liquidize and come out as a completely new being. It just knows. It's divine timing. And it's like that. We are the caterpillars going into the chrysalis and about to be transformed by nature, by the divine, by the planets, by life itself, and through our natural cycles and chapters and lessons that we learn in our life. So try and think of it like that, and just be aware of things that are changing, and try and soften into them. Try not to fight against them. Try and just kind of soften, accept, be grateful for things that have happened, and let go. There's a lot to say about that, but Venus is also going into she's in retrograde. She went into retrograde at the end of February, start of March. She does that every 18 months. But the last time that she went into retrograde in the sign that she's in now, Aries, and then she'll be going back to Pisces, was this time, March, April 2017. So 8 years ago. Sorry about the traffic going past. So just encourage you to have a look back at what was happening in your life in March, April 2017, 8 years ago. Notice what was happening in your relationships, your career, financially, your friendships, every aspect, and just notice what kind of things are happening for you now, and it'll be in those same areas. And it's 8 years later. Pay attention to how things have changed, how you've changed, and how you're dealing with things. Is it just the same lessons over and over again, or are you approaching things differently? And then if you're feeling a bit stuck, maybe just look at how far you've actually come, how far the distance you've travelled and what's changed in your life in those 8 years, how you've grown as a person and how you handle things differently. Okay, I'll say more about that. Venus usually affects relationships, and that can be romantic relationships, but also friendships. She also impacts sort of finances and your stability. So look at those things as well.